Hey bully people, how you guys doing today? This is Curtis here at bullytree.com, wishing you a wonderful, wonderful new year and with lots of good things to come for your family, for your dogs and kennels, and for your lives. Today is January 1, 2012, and let's get it on. Let's get it on. Today I want to talk about the legacy of our dogs. What do we want the legacy of our dogs to be? To create a legacy, mostly you have to create your own path, a new space, something that's new, and build it to a point where it's highly acclaimed or recognized. People that are usually pioneers would get a lot of these accolades for creating legacies. Followers, not so much, because if you want to be a legacy, if you want to have a legacy as a leader, then you have to lead, and so leading starts with leadership. Leadership means you put yourself first, and everyone else behind, or equal to, but you take a responsibility of leadership as first, the person that's gonna take the lead, take charge. And so usually you don't get people that create legacies from following, but sometimes you can follow to a certain extent and then enhance it with your own flavor or methods. So my point that I'm trying to make here today is that you can have people that make legacies in the bully world from taking what you have, which was firstly created by somebody, and building upon it. Okay, you have dogs, good dogs, great dogs that are gaudy. You have Dax, you have a short shot and all those good razor's edge dogs, that have come and created legacies for themselves, that everyone wants in their pedigrees. Will your dog be one that people want in their pedigrees? Would it just be a normal name that nobody knows, or one that everyone knows and wants to relate to? Okay, but there's another side to having a legacy. There are people that create legacies that nobody know of, and with a legacy, you should have some history. And that way, what you're dealing with. Back in the background. And so, is your legacy going to be as a follower, or are you going to be a leader? That's the gist of my story here today. Are you going to follow, or are you going to lead? Are you going to stand up and say no, or are you going to say, okay, he says let's do it this way, let's do it this way? You have to have an innovative spirit for life, for your dogs. Innovation is what gets us ahead in many cases. So be innovative for your dogs. If you are innovative, chances are you are more likely to have a legacy that people wants to relate to. Some people want the legacy of the dogs to be a hip hop culture, for example. Some people want it to be street. Some people don't want the dog to be attached to that type of stigma. Some people don't want the dogs to be attached to anything that pertains to being soft. Some people don't care about none of that stuff. I'm maybe one of those people. I just want the dogs to move ahead, and move ahead we must. And so, whether you think the dog should be a part of a culture to move ahead, or whether you think the dog should just be mainstream, or just like any other breed of dogs, the point of the matter is we need to get the dogs to keep moving forward. How do we move them forward? By positiveness, by togetherness, by the way we represent them. Okay? At the end of the day, there's going to be a legacy left for these dogs. Okay? Not for now, maybe for now, but for sure for many years to come. Okay? The more to the left we keep going with the dogs, that is negativity, then it'll compound. Negativity compounds, positivity compounds. So we gotta make sure that we have a positive image for the dogs. Uh, Presently, the legacy of the dog seems to be a culture that is basically free spirited and and worldly, and probably street, you know, and probably tough. Well, I don't want a dog to be known as a tough dog. Uh, as far as only a certain type of people can have him. I don't want our dogs to be known by as a soft dog, in that they won't, they can protect your family, or they won't work, or for me, I want our dogs to be a dog that is known for what they truly are, which is they can do anything. They can be working dogs, show dogs, CNI dogs, as I stated in one of my other videos. And for me, this is truly what I want the legacy of this dog to be. But because they are what they are, they're gonna supersede all of these things. They're gonna go above and beyond, because bully dogs give you their everything. And so I would like the legacy of our dogs to be the ultimate dog. Ultimately, it can do anything at any time asked. I wouldn't like the legacy of my dogs to be as a fighting dog, as a dog that's affiliated with drugs or negative things. I wouldn't like the legacy of my dogs to be as house dogs only, or as guard dogs only, because that they're not. These dogs are multi-talented, they're multifaceted, and so we have to make sure that people know that. If we present our dogs just as one thing, we're in trouble. Okay, the more people we can appeal to, the better chance our dogs have, the better the legacy of our dogs gonna be. Because when it gets in people's mouth, not just in our little cliques, a bully show here or a bully show there, that's not what the legacy of our dogs is eventually going to be. The legacy of our dogs is eventually going to be what we make them to be, as far as realizing their full potential. Okay? So, going to a bully show is all well and good. I support bully shows. I think they have a lot of good that comes out of bully shows. But is that really realizing what our dog's legacy should be? Show dogs? What about the other aspects of that the dogs were created for? What about the work aspect and the protection aspect? How many of us work our dogs? How many of us do shit sound? How many of us do train our dogs, to be detection dogs? How many of us are even interested in that type of stuff? We just get the dogs, and sometimes we breed the dogs, and maybe the new culture now is taking your dogs to a show if you can, which is a very small percentage of us. Usually that's more for personal gain, more so than anything else. My dog's a champion, so here's a puppy. That's not the legacy of our dogs, guys. What the legacy of our dogs, in my opinion, should be is ultimate dog. A bully dog is an ultimate dog. It can do and will do anything that is asked of it. So before you get one of these dogs, ask yourself, am I going to contribute to the legacy of this fine dog? Okay? Or am I just going to jump in like everybody else and do the same thing and, watch the dogs head down? Okay? Before you breed, consider, do I have any legends? Will there be any legends in this litter? And if there are going to be legends, how are they going to be created? There's more to just breeding. There's the future of the dogs to be concerned with. We want to make legends. We want to have legacies that people can talk about, that people won't be fearful about dogs. But when they talk about our dogs, the general public, when they talk about the other dogs, they talk about things that we have been trying for so many years to get people to recognize about our dogs. The positive things, And so I want to disassociate myself from the negative and associate and reacquaint myself with friends and people in the bully community that want to take these breeds forward. Okay? So what is the legacy of my dog? The bully breed? It's the ultimate dog that can do anything at any time asked, without anything at all. It just do it because that's what it was made for. Let's help these dogs to realize their legacy. They're dogs, they can't do it by themselves. We need to help them positive attitudes, positive showings. You know, we don't need, we don't need women in our pictures with dogs to make a legacy. And if that's a legacy that you want to make, I don't want to associate myself with it. You know, what we need is the dogs to show that they can do anything at any time. Okay? This is Curtis at bullytree.com. Happy New Year. Peace to you and your family. And let's make legends. God bless.